Hello, Abigail here with the Tarotscopes for Libra season, Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. All right, my Cancer folks, we have finally left eclipse season. Just a reminder, the final eclipse was the day before we entered Libra season, so there is that kind of 2 week runoff that we expect up until our Aries full moon. So we're still dealing with eclipse themes. Also, there's a Mars square at the beginning of Libra season, a massive grand trine. Just know that there's still chaos energy hither and yon. I will say, comparatively, the reading for the sign of Cancer is a bit more hopeful. A lot of this has to do with the fact that you do have Jupiter. Now, important to note, moving through Libra season, we will hit Jupiter squares, but these are also just very activating. And so there's kind of a push and pull where some of these topics might be hard, but they are going to be moving you forward. So you get to feel this forward moving energy that maybe some of the signs aren't going to be feeling, or other signs. So if you have other strong placements in other signs, look at this one, look at where it is in your chart, and then look where the other ones are. And that's where those topics and themes are going to be coming up the most. I do a video on the astrology of Libra season. I just want to give you kind of just set the stage before these tarotscopes. Also, final kind of important thing to note, you have Mars trine Jupiter in Scorpio for all of Libra season. And this is Mars domicile. A trine is free flowing energy. So within these squares, there's also this feeling of this deep water flow that's really going to flush things out and make things feel more progressive and more invigorating. So I'm excited with that for you. We have the gem, which the reason I highlighted that astrology is because your archetype card is the gem. And if you notice, you can see here, this is a gem kind of resting on what looks like worms or maggots and a pile of straw. So it is this very shiny thing and this very kind of earthy, decaying backdrop. There is something really lovely within the chaos that is going to be accompanying Libra season, some highlight, some attainment, some victory for you that is going to feel really good. I also think for some of you, it might be a recognition of your innate traits and gifting, being seen for who you truly are and not just as a water receptacle for other people's feelings. So look for this gem, look for that progress. There are going to be some nitty gritty, gnarly things, but there's also some really beautiful stuff happening here for you and some really lovely, transformative astrology that's going to elevate and boost what you are currently pursuing and doing. Um, and you have a lot of wands in your card. So this is a season of forward propulsion and facing things and passion and drive. And that's really going to tie into this idea of a gem kind of nestling in the decay of the energy of 2025. It's not all decay, but there's a lot of turnover in 2025. And we're not really going to get through that turnover till edge of the middle of 2026. If we're kind of looking at the way astrology is going to play out. Doesn't mean good things are going to happen, just means there's a lot of other stuff going on too. Starting out, we do have a Four of Wands. It does feel like the season is a bit of a homecoming, even though squares are hard. The sun is in a sign that is cardinal, and Cancer is a cardinal sign. So there's a familiarity and a sense of coming home when we hit our fellow signs. So if your mutable sign, so let's say Gemini, and the sun is in Virgo, that is your fellow sign. There's 4 in each group. So this is a bit of a homecoming. This is also a call to stabilize and root into your home. If you haven't made the space you live in homey, this is a great time to do that. Maybe even decorate for the autumn or to celebrate the equinox, or put up Halloween decorations. Something that really marks out the place you live in as your home and a place of belonging. This also is, especially if you live in a rental, maybe, dealing with the fact that some things are temporary, but you can make it feel safe and comfortable, which I know can be hard. But, finding a way to make things cozy, get low lighting, comfy blankets and pillows, things that, are movable, that can really add to your animal comforts. This is also about finding the people that you belong with and finding kind of the 4 corners of your life. a lot of Libra season for a lot of us, not just the cardinal signs, is about reconnecting with self after the destabilization of the eclipses. So come back to who you are, recenter on the things that you need and you want and you desire. Your next card is the Lovers. This season, like I've said, in the fire sense, is all about connection, but it's also about the connection of relationships. And every Cancer person I know has a specific highlight on relationships. Um, Very rarely do I find Cancer people being the lone wolf who doesn't have much community or doesn't have, if you don't have community, you do have connections. There's this constant kind of flow that comes with Cancer that creates this dynamic with others. Um, Part of it is the expansiveness of your sign. But this is about you and other. Other can be interpreted many different ways. Other can be parts of ourselves that we don't identify with, either because of trauma or because of society, or we've just never had time to build that relationship. But this is the season to suss out what needs to be connected to, what is important, who are the people that you need close to you, to care for you and to protect you. And, and who are those who, maybe aren't aligned and aren't quite on your side. I think for a lot of cancers, obviously, pretty much everyone had some really big events during the eclipses that were sometimes earth shattering. So, relationships ending or beginning, even jobs endings, jobs beginnings, all those things. With this moment in Libra season, we're kind of picking up the pieces and figuring out what we want to do next and figuring out who you want to connect to and who is important to you and who deserves to be in your life is a part of your next season. And a part of that is knowing who you are and what you want. And that is a lovely segue into our King of Wands. The King of Wands knows who he is, knows what he wants. He pursues it with a passion. I like how in this one, the King of Wands is gazing off into the distance. Wands, like fire, tend to project out, they radiate. And so, this is the season to radiate. It's also a reminder to my Cancerian folks to I always struggle to use the word manifest because I find it's a very broad and general term. And pop manifestation versus maybe a more day to day practice versus, there are some people who can manifest literal things, but you do need to start putting out into the world what you desire. If you desire connection, you must radiate connection. If you desire to, have visibility, you must make yourself visible, even if you don't really want to be visible. Not all of my cancers want to be seen. Uh, and a lot of you are very good at masking, and that's not a slam. That's just how it goes. I'm also pretty good at masking sometimes. Uh, Virgo doesn't help with masking unless it's really technical. Anyways, off of that tangent, it's time to project out what you desire. It doesn't mean that you have to invest in things that don't have return, but to speak out to the universe the things you want. A really easy way to do this, especially if you're not quite clear on what exactly it is you want or need, or if you're open to things unfolding in a more organic way, manifest your feelings. Manifest how you want to feel when you attain what you attain. Because you can manifest money or a career or a job, but if you don't manifest the feelings you want to feel when you have it, you can end up in a job with lots of money that burns you out, or a job with lots of money that you don't get appreciation from, or you don't get much time off to enjoy what you are earning. And that's just one example. So manifest how you want to feel on the other side of things. We do have our lovely Seven of Cups. You will have choices and decisions to make in this season. Some of them are very much obviously what they are, and some of them are a bit deceptive. This is about following your intuition and trusting that you can handle the consequences of your own choices. And when I use consequences, it's a neutral term. Not bad or good, but that you understand what will happen if you choose a certain thing and then if you don't choose another thing. Doesn't mean that the choice is wrong. You just need to understand the give and take, the loss, the scales, the balance, Libra, of the choices that you're going to have to make. I don't know that you have to make them all at once in this season, but you are setting yourself up for decisions in Scorpio season and in Sagittarius season. So it's very important that you start to really tap into your intuition and to your desires. Last but not least, we have the Two of Wands. There's opportunity. You have the tools and the skills you need to move forward. You just need to take that step. So this Libra season doesn't have to be a big step, doesn't have to be a leap. You don't have to jump off a cliff. Just take that one step out into your desires, one step forward into the path that you want, one thing that you do to prepare for the future that you believe in. And that's it. And don't forget, there's something lovely in all of this. I actually think this is a very positive reading, but there's also something extra lovely. So keep an eye out for that gem. It will be specific to you. Anyways, my loves, that is my reading for my Cancers for Libra season. Please like and subscribe. Also, blessed fall equinox.